Right, so Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is Muhammad Faiz Amiruddin. My matrix number is CA200135. And for the last lab, I am going to explain the first part, which is subtopic 5, point 5. So there are three questions that I'm going to explain, which is 5.1, 5.2, and also 5.3. 5.3. Right, so for 5.1, 5.1, right, so for 5.1, we need to load the programs, run and observe the results. So the design is based on this diagram. So to be simplified, there are two types of two network, and each network consists of two or three contact. For network one, they are consist of push button start, push button stop, and also relay. While our network two consists of two contact, which is relay and also output. So this is the design network that I followed based on the question. So I already run and keep the mode online. So the outcome that I get from uh, the the question 5.1 is when we force on our push button start and we also turn on our push button stop, the output will be zero. So what if I turn off or force off our push button stop? So the output and relay will be turned on, right? So for question 5.2, we need to design a PLC program that consists of one sensor. So the sensor will be function as the detector if someone crossing the yellow line. So automatically the robot will be stop its operations. And then the siren will play its role by uh, by turn on the output, so the siren will be function, and then until the reset button is pressed. So this is our what we call it, this is our PLC program. So the question asks us to use latching relay. So there are about two relay that that we use in our PLC program. Right, so there are about three scenario that I am going to explain. For the first scenario, if we push turn on our push button start, right? So if we turn on our push button start, sorry, and then right. So if we turn on our push button start, our both relay will be function and automatically the output will be on. So to be more specific, when the push button is pressed, the operating robot, which is Y0, will be running even after the push button is released. Right. So for the second scenario, so what if the sensor triggered? So this is the two sensor that triggered. Right. Right. So this is what if the sensor triggered? So the output Y0, the robot will be stopped operating, while the our siren will start to running even after the sensor is stopped triggering. So for the third scenario, when stop push button is pressed, so this is stop push button, and then oh sorry, when stop push button is pressed and also push button start is turned off because of the sensor that triggering before this. So what we call it, wait, So what if we right? So the relay, our relay 2 will be functioning as the idling relay. So the when stop but push button is pressed, the siren will be stop operating, and after release the stop button, the operation will back to idle mode, which is relay 2. So relay 2 play a big role for idling process before it come back to the first scenario, which is start the operation. Right. So for the last questions, we need to design uh, two sensor that detects the approaching car and will open the garage until the second sensor detect the whole body of the car that safely parks inside the garage. So for the design, we will design a quite simple PLC programming, and still using the same relay, which is latching relay. So the program consists of two network, and for the first network there are two sensors and one relay, while the network two is the output part, which consists one relay and one output. Right. So what if the first sensor triggered? So the first sensor will detect a car that coming through at the certain distance, so that the garage will automatically operating until the second sensor, which is the last sensor that we will use, detecting that the whole body of the car will safely park into the garage. Right. So what if we turn on the sensor one, which the sensor detect the car in front of the garage, and we need to set off the second sensor. So automatically the output Y0, which is the garage, will start operating. And then what if the second sensor detect the whole body of the car safely parked into the garage? Right. So the the sorry, so the garage will be closed after the car is safely parked. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Fahim Hakam bin Fazri, DE190077. So in this video, I will present about the question 6.1. So as a question request is that the first operator will be placed at the empty box, then start button is pressed, upper conveyor start to move. Upper conveyor is consisting of row of apple which is arranged according. Sensor 1 will detect to the precinct of apple. Okay, so we design uh, this PSC design. So firstly, we need to compile the chat first, then click communication setting. Need to open com first. Select driver. Need to start this first, then click online. Okay, so when PB start is on, Okay, so conveyor is on. Relevant, all the relevant is on. Then when the apple detect at the sensor one, so it will recount. This one will count until 10 because S2 is state 10, so it will counting until 10. Until 10. Okay, okay, so when it's reached at 10 counting, so the conveyor is will be on. So if we want to reset it, we just on S2 here. Okay, so it will reset 0 back. So that's all for me. Thank you.